A quick new idea, daily, from the world's greatest TEDx talks. I'm your host, Atossa Leoni, and this is TEDx Shorts. Many of us probably had to transition to working from home recently. But for many employers, it can still be considered a less than ideal option. Nicholas Bloom is a professor of economics at Stanford University. Through his research on management practices across the globe, he's found that working from home offers more benefits for employers and employees than originally thought. Today, he shares this insight with some hard data.
I'm very positive about working from home, and I actually think it has enormous potential, as much potential as, say, something like, the driverless car. There are about 150 million working Americans. Imagine if we could take just some share of those people and allow them to work from home on a daily basis. The enormous amount of time you'd save, the huge amount of money you'd save in terms of reduced car travel, and moreover, the amazing impact you'd have on reducing pollution. So I think it has tremendous potential. And then you should ask yourself, why do we focus so much on working in the office? Well, this is a tradition that's gone back a couple of hundred years to the Industrial Revolution. So, I guess many of us can blame the British for this, but before the Industrial Revolution, around 1800, everyone basically worked from home. We were farmers, we were artisans, we were craftsmen, and around 1800, modern workplaces started to be formed. We started to mass in factories and offices, and the modern form of commuting to the office and back, or to the factory and back, started to be set in store. But, a lot has changed in the last 200 years. In a sense, we don't need to be like this anymore. There's modern communications, there's modern computers, there's the internet. And so one of the things I want to argue is, the way that we organize the office and the way we organize factories is something that's very backward looking, and it doesn't need to be that way anymore. I was fortunate enough that I found a company that would do that with me. It's called Ctrip. They are China's largest travel agency. They look like any kind of modern office, very Dilbert-esque, lots of desks and cubicles and thousands of people working, taking calls, typing away at computers, dealing with customer complaints, coming up with new products, managing their team. Now, why were they interested in working from home? Well, they're interested in working from home because Shanghai is a phenomenally expensive place to run a business. It has incredibly expensive property prices, and they were growing rapidly, and their aim was to try and grow, but without increasing their office space. Working with us at Stanford, a big working from home experiment. So they got a large number of volunteers from two divisions that wanted to work from home, and they set it up as a randomized controlled trial. So in a very Chinese style, James Liang drew a ping pong ball out of an urn. The urn said even, which meant everyone that had an even birthday, so if you were born on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th, the 10th of the month, you got to go and work at home for the next 9 months. If you had an odd birthday, so like myself, you're the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th, except for the month, you stayed in the office for the next 9 months. And in fact, we tracked these two groups for about 2 years. So this was to try and set up as scientifically as we could. They're typically working in teams of 10 to 15 people, and they all have the same manager. So here's a team manager. She's running her team. Some of them have been randomly sent home. Some of them are randomly still left in the office, but they're all working under the same manager. Those at home come in 1 day a week, so they may all come in on Wednesday. So they're at home Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The whole team's at home whole team's in the office on Wednesday. And she can monitor them. She can see what's going on. They're all working the same shift. So the only thing that's really changing is where they're working. So what do we find? Well, we found massive improvement performances. So a 13% improvement in performance from people working at home, which is huge. That's almost 1 day a week. So how on earth did this happen? Where did this come from? Well, it came from two things. One is people working from home really work their full shift. So if in the office, you're supposed to be there 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but they'll often come in late because the motorbike broke down, or they have a long lunch break because they go and have a drink or two, they'll leave early to let the cable repair guy in. Whatever it is, they were definitely not working all of the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, whereas people at home were much better at keeping time. The second fact was, it's far easier to concentrate at home. For all of you that's worked from home, the office is actually an amazingly noisy environment. So that was finding one. Finding two, quit rates dropped by 50%. So for anyone out here that's a manager, the nightmare of endlessly advertising, interviewing, recruiting, training, getting up to speed employees, only to see them leave again. So this, again, is an enormous impact. Basically, employees are voting with their feet. They love working from home. Not only do the employees benefit, but the managers benefit because they can spend less of their time painfully advertising, recruiting, training, promoting, exiting again, and spend it more on work. Finally, at the end of the experiment, it was so successful, C-Trip rolled it out to the whole company. And they let everyone change their mind. So what about C-Trip? They reckon they made about $2,000 more profit per person at home. They were super positive. They rolled it out to the whole firm. I want to kill the stereotype of working from home and say, look, there are massive benefits. For employees, even if you try it just one day a week, give it a try. There's not much to lose and there's a lot to gain.
The TEDx talk you just listened to was recorded at a TEDx event at Stanford University in Stanford, California. All TEDx events are independently organized by volunteers who believe in TED's mission of ideas worth spreading. Special thanks to the organizing team at TEDxStanford. Want to listen to more TEDx talks? Explore the entire archive on the TEDx YouTube channel. I'm Atossa Leoni. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.